Hi everyone, welcome to our webinar today. I'm going to give it another minute just to let people trickle in and then we'll get started. Okay, hi everyone. Thank you so much for attending the webinar today and greetings from sunny Los Angeles. It's 9 a.m. here and I know that you're tuning in from all over the world and it could be any random time. So thank you so much for taking the time to meet with us today. This whole experience will take less than an hour and we're really excited to share with you more information about the University of Southern California, specifically the Viterbi School of Engineering, and even more specifically the Electrical and Computer Engineering Department, of which you have been admitted. So congratulations on your admission and welcome officially to the Trojan family. We're so happy to have you here. I will say it's a huge accomplishment getting into USC. And so we know that you worked hard to get here. We know that, you know, this it's not easy to do this. So congratulations. And we're really proud of you and we're happy to have you here today and hopefully see you this fall. So I'll get started and welcome on your virtual tour to Southern California. Perhaps you live here, perhaps you visited before, but maybe you've never been, or maybe you live on the other side of the world. And so we'll take you on a brief overview of the university, the Viterbi School of Engineering, and then we'll get into the nitty gritty of the ECE department. And we'll hear from some current students who are here today, as well as a professor and an advisor. And I actually didn't say this, but I work for the Viterbi graduate admissions team. So my name is Maria. And so you may have met me at some point if you saw me on the road or if you saw me at one of our on-campus events or even off-campus. But if not, hi, and it's nice to see you, even though I can't see you, but you can see me. So anyway, Los Angeles, maybe you've been here, maybe you haven't. Obviously, you've probably heard it's a beautiful place. And so I actually grew up on the East Coast and I always dreamed of living in LA. Maybe you have too, and maybe that's why you applied to USC. And I've been here now for 10 years, and I have to say, I have zero regrets about moving out to Los Angeles. It's an amazing place. People here are great. You can meet people from LA as well as all over California and all over the world. I've met people from all different backgrounds, and I really love that about being here in Los Angeles. I also don't take for granted that it's sunny almost all year round. And I mean, I really think that's a beautiful place, inspiring for studying, for working, and just for living in general. It's really chill here. So you probably know about Silicon Valley, I'm sure. You're an engineer. Here, if you didn't know, we also have Silicon Beach here in LA. So a lot of the companies that started up in the San Francisco Bay Area, where Silicon Valley is, they opened up locations here in Silicon Beach as well, which is in LA, literally by the beach, because they also found that it's an inspiring place to be, to do research, to work, to study. And so all of those big companies that you hear about up in the Bay Area, a lot of them are here too, as well as this is a hot spot for startups and just engineering and tech in general. And so you have a lot of opportunities here at your fingertips if you study at USC. A little bit more about LA, as you can see on the screen here, you can see the campus here in the front, and then you can see downtown is right behind us. So you have access to like everything in LA really easily. The metro station is right outside of our campus. So if you wanted to take that, it goes directly to Santa Monica or downtown. You can also easily access within 15 miles. We have the Santa Monica Pier, Beverly Hills, Hollywood, Venice Beach, all of these famous places and even places that maybe you've not heard of. And there's so much to do. There's so much food from all over the world. We have like every single sport. There's just so much going on. There's never a dull moment here in LA. It's the second largest city in the United States. And so literally whatever you want to do here, this is where dreamers flock from around the world. So I definitely think you can find your place here in LA and love it too. And now you're like, okay, but that's great. But like, what about my career? Yes, we are invested in your career as well. We know that that is probably why you wanted to come to grad school. So, of course, part of coming to grad school is to get the specialized knowledge, but you also want to know that you're going to get a job after, or that you'll be able to do internships while you're studying here. And we agree that's super important. So I will say, being in a major metropolitan area is a huge advantage when you're studying because you can do internships while you're in school. You can also build those connections while you're studying. So you're not in an isolated college town somewhere in the middle of nowhere. You're in the second largest city in the US that is a hotspot for engineering. And so you can make those connections as soon as you come to campus. So these employers are coming to campus. They're here to network with you. We have 2 huge job fairs every year. And we also have like a lot of other events. So you can see on the screen, this is just a snapshot of the events that the Career Connections office hosts. So the Viterbi Career Connections office is actually, as you can probably guess from the name, devoted exclusively to our engineering and computer science students. So they know exactly the type of jobs and the type of internships that you're working on and that you're working towards, and the career preparation that you need to get to where you want to go. And so we're here to help, and we're here with you every step of the way. On the screen here, you can see this is from the last academic year. You can see all of the offerings that the Career Connections office had last year. So there's always something going on, and it's all to help you, make these connections. We have top employers, like all of those big name Silicon Valley companies do come here to recruit our students, but we also have probably companies that you've never even heard of that could be your future dream job. And they're coming here too. There's opportunities for startups. There's definitely like a big entrepreneurial mindset here as well. So whatever excites you, we're here to help connect you with the people that are going to help you get to where you want to be in the classroom and outside of it as well. So if you want to see where our graduates from your program specifically are working, you can go to our website. It's the same website, uscengineer.com, where you first learned about the programs. Each program has its own page, which you've probably seen before when you were applying. And you may or may not have noticed there's also a career outcomes tab on the left-hand side. If you click on that, you can see the outcomes of where students have ended up employed in recent years, and also where they've done internships. And this is not an exclusive list by any means. This is just an overview, a snapshot of some of the companies where they've ended up working. Another resource that you may find that you might want to take advantage of is our Viterbi mentorship program. The Viterbi mentorship program is amazing. I mean, this gives you the opportunity to connect with a mentor from day one. So you can have a mentor who's already a student here in your program, and they can kind of show you the ropes. You have a built-in friend. Usually they're through the same academic department and degree level as you. And they're just here to like serve as a guide for you and also be your friend and give you advice. So if you need advice about anything, like it could be like the transition from undergrad to grad school, or maybe the transition from your hometown to Los Angeles or your country to the US, etc. They're here to, help guide you through that. And then you can even become a mentor as well in your when you're a more seasoned student too. So you could also give back and take a new student under your wing. So it's really a great way to expand your network and make new friends. As far as our community, sometimes students ask me, are there ways for grad students to get involved? So I will say that this is here at USC is actually the opposite of most institutions, including maybe where you study or studied, where we have more graduate students than undergraduate students. So this is like not typical. So because of that, our campus really does cater to grad students as well. And you'll never have to feel like you're the only grad student involved in a specific club or organization. We do have clubs that are for grad students specifically. For example, our Viterbi Graduate Student Association. And then we also have a lot of the professional organizations like IEEE, which you've probably heard of, or like the Society of Women Engineers, etc. We have all of these professional organizations that you can get involved in, that both undergrads and grads are involved in. And even aside from, Viterbi and engineering related stuff, you're of course encouraged to get involved with fun stuff as well. I mean, not that that isn't fun, that is fun, but different type of fun. We have, sports games and social clubs. So all of those are open as well. And so we definitely encourage you to get involved with our clubs and organizations and make the most of your experience here, because grad school is definitely going to go by quickly. And the real world out there, working world, is always going to be there, and you'll have several decades to work out there in your future career. So take advantage of the 2 years that you're here on campus, because it's going to go by quickly. But we definitely want you to make the most of it. We want you to work hard, and we want you to also enjoy yourself while you're here. And USC is really built around, the success of you in the classroom, but also to have a nice social environment. Okay, so about safety, of course, this is a concern that people have generally, and USC is definitely devoted to making sure that this is a safe place for all students and staff. So as you can see on the map on the left-hand side, that's our USC patrol zone. So you can see that the campus is in the south part of that. And then also going like a pretty generous area up north of it and to the east and west. You can see that's all part of our USC patrol zone. And our Department of Public Safety patrols this area 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And that is where most students choose to live. So you can trust that you're in good hands and that our campus safety is taking care of that area, even off campus all the time. We also have a Lyft partnership. Lyft rides are free every evening. And so even if you need a ride from somewhere in this area after hours, you don't have to worry about like walking home if you don't want to, or taking the bus even. You can just take a free Lyft ride. We also have a USC Trojan mobile safety app. And everybody can put this on their phone. I have it on my phone. I will say, I've never had to use it, which I'm grateful for, but it does give me peace of mind knowing that I have that access to contact our Department of Public Safety in case I ever needed to. So it's just an extra tool to give you some peace of mind. We do have USC owned housing, and there's also a lot of off-campus apartments and houses where students rent. And those are typically more affordable as well. And so I will say that in the central Los Angeles area nearby campus, this area, University Park, where the campus is located, is actually one of the most affordable neighborhoods in LA. And so it works out well because, it's more affordable to live here, and it's walking distance to campus. If you don't have a car, you can easily walk. You can easily take the free Lyft or our campus shuttles. If you do bring a car, then that does open up more opportunities for you as well if you wanted to live in nearby neighborhoods outside of here as well. So it's really up to you. You can choose your own path and definitely explore more of your options. And if you need advice about housing, our student ambassadors are really helpful, a great resource, and I'll get into more about them very shortly. So maybe you've already committed to USC, maybe you haven't yet. We know that, if you got into USC, you probably got into other universities as well, but maybe not. Maybe this is the only one that you applied for. And we do hope that you come regardless. But I'm sure that wherever you end up, it will be amazing, but hopefully it's here. And so the sooner you submit your statement of intent, then the sooner you get to access all of these amazing features like pre-orientation resources. You can join the Viterbi mentorship program, which I mentioned on a couple of slides ago. You can connect with your department through academic webinars. Spoiler alert, you're in this one now, and so you actually didn't have to submit your statement of intent to get onto that. But we also will invite you to other webinars, and you can explore your housing options too. The deadline is in your USC portal. It's YOUSC portal. You can go on there, and that's where you can see your deadline of when to submit your statement of intent. For most students, it's April 15th, but it does vary. So definitely make sure that you check that date. So what you have to do is kind of act like you're about to commit, but you don't have to pay the deposit yet, but then that will show you what your deadline is if you're not already aware of it. And so then make sure you do submit by your deadline. And then if you are an F1 visa student, or you will be studying on an F1 visa, then there is like the additional financial document and other steps to get your I-20. So you can go into the Trojan International System, and that's where you can see more about the next steps for you specifically. Next steps in general about exploring USC. If you've never been to campus, of course, we do encourage you to visit if you can. So if you can come to campus, if you have never been, feel free to reach out to us anytime. And even if there's not a specific event, I'm happy to meet with you, and one of our student ambassadors from your program can meet with you as well, give you a tour of campus, answer any questions that you have about the student perspective. And then if you can't come to campus before your classes start in the fall, totally fine. We do have a virtual tour option. It's pretty good for helping you get a lay of the land. Also, if you happen to live in Miami or the San Francisco Bay Area, we are hosting a couple of admitted student meet and greet events. The Miami one is this Friday, and then the Bay Area ones are in Berkeley and San Jose next week, Friday and Saturday. So you can meet us in your city if you happen to live in one of those cities. If not, like I said, you can meet us anytime, either in person or on Zoom. We're also happy to meet one-on-one with you. We also encourage you to explore our student organizations, which you can find a list of on the website, read more about our student safety and wellness resources, and chat with a student ambassador. So you can chat with a student ambassador anytime. These are Viterbi graduate students as well. So they're all in the programs right now. So they're literally here, and they can give you the student experience perspective. Any questions that you have, you can ask them. You can narrow down the list based on like what hometown people are from, what country they're from, what program they're in, things like that. And so that can help you connect with somebody, and literally you can ask them anything you want. You can ask them about professors, you can ask them about what classes they took, you can ask them about housing, you can ask them like how was their transition to LA from wherever they're from, things like that. Ask them anything. They're literally here to serve you and to help you and to be your friend. So that's it. This is our contact information. And I'm going to put my email, which is the general Viterbi graduate admissions email, in the chat as well. So then that way you can reach out to us anytime. I'm in that email every day. And so even though it's going to look like a general one, there's multiple people checking it constantly. And so we will get back to you quickly. We actually handwrite our responses. We don't use AI to respond to you. So we do take the time to personally respond to each and every single inquiry. And we do it quickly. So, so anything you need, reach out. And with that said, I'm going to pass it over to the ECE department. We have Dr. Povinelli here, and we have Samantha Graves here, and they're going to share with you more about the electrical and computer engineering department.
Okay. All right. Thank you and welcome. I'm Professor Michelle Povinelli, and I'm Vice Chair of our Electrical and Computer Engineering Department at USC, and I'm here with Samantha Graves, who is one of our student advisors on our student advising team. You heard a lot of information already about Viterbi School and about our department. Here in ECE, we take student advising very seriously. So Sam is one of our advisors who works with our master's students as well as our undergrad and PhD students. We want to make sure that when you get here that you get guidance on which classes to take to fulfill your programs, that you have support as you figure out your interests and go on in your path. So we'll give you a bit of a presentation about the department, and then we're here to answer questions. So in ECE, our interest is really taking all these ideas in math and science and physics and making them work in the real world through real engineering applications. You may be wondering who Ming Xie is. Our department is named for Ming Xie, one of our alums, whom we're very proud of because he got his career started here at USC. So Ming Xie is both a undergrad and MSEE alum. He was the co-founder of a company called Cogent, which was one of the top providers of automatic fingerprint identification systems. He built that up when that technology was new, using the skills he learned through his degrees. And he figured out how to take automatic fingerprint recognition from an idea to a built system, which he then sold at scale in order to do automatic biometrics. So he sold that company in 2010. He is now CEO of a genetic testing company. And in 2006, he gave a very generous gift to NAME, our department, which allows us to run lots of programs for students and faculty in the department. Our seminar series, some of our other events going on constantly around the department to spotlight different areas of electrical and computer engineering and bring in scholars to engage in those areas are thanks to Ming Xie's donation. And he is also a member of the NAE, the National Academy of Engineering. So our department was founded before Ming. We were founded in 1905. And we have about 400 undergrads, 400 PhD students, and 900 master's students. We were recently ranked 15th in the USA by US News and World Report for electrical engineering, and we moved up to 13th for computer engineering. We have over 60 tenured and tenure track faculty, as well as another 10 teaching faculty. And so we have a very large faculty, which allows us to offer a whole range of classes in different program areas that you'll see shortly. And our faculty are also engaged in very exciting and cutting edge research. We work on about $30 million worth of funded research per year in the department. So very large and vigorous research effort. We have a number of notable alums. You've heard about Ming Xie already. Andy Viterbi. We are in the Viterbi School of Engineering, and Andy Viterbi is another one of our alums. He got his PhD here back in 1963 and was the co-founder of Qualcomm. William Wang, we have another founder and CEO of a large company, Vizio, as well as CEOs of Apple, CTO of MediaTek, CEO of Materion Precision Optics, etc. So these are just a few of our very notable alums, but we have each year hundreds of students who graduate and go on to positions in engineering, both in industry and academia. Our faculty are researching, studying, and teaching many, many different subject areas, covering the whole range of electrical and computer engineering. So whatever your interests are within our discipline, which is very broad, we have experts here who are working in that area. Some of the people pictured here study robotics, remote sensing, optics, computer engineering, quantum computing, and other topics. So we have a great deal of activities going on in all of these areas. If you are interested in being involved in research as a graduate student, we do have a number of master students who work in labs, and that's something that you can do either for directed research credit or as a volunteer if you're interested in building your CV in the research area and are interested in getting engaged in the topics we study. After master's degrees, our alumni go on to a whole range of companies. We have really great success with our programs and working with the Viterbi School, as you heard. In the earlier presentation, we pride ourselves at Viterbi on how we connect students to the industries they're interested in. So in ECE, we have alums working at the major companies that you can think of. both in the US and abroad. Their annual career fair, apart from the annual career fair, there are events going on all the time through the career services where companies are coming and looking to interact with our students and hire graduates at all levels from our undergrad, master's, and PhD program. Many of our faculty are also involved in startup companies. And so these are some of the examples of companies that have come out of the department. These range, again, all the different areas within ECE. We've had faculty who've started companies working on machine learning chips, working on RF filters, biosciences related companies coming out of pulsed power work, diagnostics, AI, and mobile apps. And so you'll find that many of our faculty are very closely engaged with industry, either through startups or also through partnerships with industry for research. And we work quite closely with a range of companies to be aware of trends in the field and then relate that back to the classes and the training that we give our graduate students. So we'll take a brief look at the specializations that we offer. Because we are a broad discipline, students have an option to go for a broader ECE program or to specialize in one of the focus areas within ECE. And we'll also say that you don't necessarily need to decide right away if you come into the department as a master's student. You can make your initial choice. If you later find that you prefer to have a little bit more flexibility and do the general EE or computer engineering degrees, those give you the most flexibility. If you prefer to specialize, you can go the specialized route. So let's look at a few programs. So we offer this whole range of programs. The most general ones are the MS in electrical engineering and the MS in computer engineering. Within electrical engineering, you can also do one of the specialized programs. So computer architecture, computer networks, VLSI design, wireless networks, electrical power. If you choose those programs, then those programs will suggest specific classes, and there'll be more specific class requirements for you to do. We have a machine learning and data science program, a newer program, fairly unique, the MS in quantum information science, which is a collaboration between ECE, physics, and chemistry, and introduces students to the quantum information field, including quantum computing, quantum information processing, communications, and sensing. We have an MS in analog and mixed signal RF integrated circuits. We have an MS in applied physics. That's for students who may be coming from perhaps a physics undergrad and would like to get into engineering. The applied physics program provides a transition. And then we have we have the financial engineering program using engineering techniques to analyze financial markets and financial instruments. And then we have dual degree in electrical engineering and engineering management. So our 900 master students are distributed across all of these different program areas. And your student advisor here at USC can give you very specific guidance as you are navigating the requirements for your program of interest. So for the MS in electrical engineering, it's a minimum of 28 units, and it's 5 courses, so 15 to 20 units from areas within ECE. And then there's some additional requirements. These, as I mentioned, give you some flexibility as to which courses within the whole broader department that you take. So computer engineering has a little bit more structure to it in that it defines the areas within the department that are considered computer engineering, and then you take your courses within those. All of the requirements for our other programs are listed in the course catalog, and so we won't go through all the classes one by one. Just to say that you can find these all on the web. I'll now ask Sam if you can say a few words about sort of how advising and course selection works when students arrive, and what you can tell them about how they make these choices when they come into the program.
Happy to. Just to clarify, Michelle, I've got some slides I could share. Do you have any additional slides, or you're good? Awesome, perfect. I will share my screen now. Nice to meet you all. My name is Samantha Graves. I'm one of the 4 academic advisors in the EC department who works with both master's and undergraduate students. Bear with me for a moment as I get this up and running. And we will have time for a Q&A in a short bit, so please hold tight. Okay. So again, welcome and congratulations on your admission. I am one of the advisors on the student services team. We are located in EEB room 102, and we'll definitely recommend that you familiarize ourselves with our department website, mingshaeece.usc.edu. There's lots of information for you to explore, especially in this time of decision, along with once you decide and leading up to being here in the fall. We do offer drop-in Zoom advising every Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Pacific time here in Los Angeles. So you're welcome. The Zoom link is on our ECE homepage. So you're welcome to drop into that if you have any questions, in the next couple months. We really prefer that you come to our virtual drop-ins on Wednesday mornings if you have any questions in the next couple months. Just a snapshot of our department advisors. So Patty Trinidad is one of our advisors, along with Gabby Garcia and Jamie Zalata. We split up our master's population by last name. So where I advise students with last names U through Z, the other advisors work with students depending on your family last name. So they will be your direct contact once you decide to enroll at USC. But certainly when you come to virtual drop-ins, any one of us advisors can chat with you. Michelle did a nice job kind of giving an overview of all of our different master's programs in our department. And so just know that perhaps you've maybe been admitted to one of our specific specialized programs. Know that after you're here after a semester, it is possible to easily change into one of our more general programs, the MSEE or the MS in Computer Engineering. Or if you're starting out in the EE or computer engineering and you think that you might want to switch to one of our specialized, definitely talk to your assigned advisor, and we'll just make sure that you have the right classes or GPA depending to switch into those. But we'll go over that more this summer at orientation and at other periods in the next couple of months. So just know that you're not completely locked in. You've been admitted to the ECE department, so you should be able to do most of our programs. So just so you're aware of kind of what to expect in the next upcoming months after you've certified your intent to enroll. Definitely, as I said, familiarize yourself with our department website. There's links to all our different master's programs, which link to the catalog. So it's really also, you can search all our different faculty, see what research they're doing. Know that we'll be sending out from the department. We will wait until late May, early June to send out information to all our certified incoming master students with information about registration, what classes that we recommend that you consider taking in your first semester. So please hold tight. We are kind of finishing out the spring semester with our current students and getting them to graduation. So, and given that we need to know who all is coming, we'll wait till early summer to be sending out more specific information to you. So hold tight, but there'll be plenty of time to plan over the summer, and then you'll be registering. So if you're a domestic student, you'll register over the summer, and if you're international, you won't be able to register until you're physically here in the US. But like I said, the information we'll share will give you recommended courses that you should be consider taking in your first term to give you kind of the fundamentals to move on to higher level coursework. There'll be information related to kind of what we call it here at USC declearances. It's basically a departmental approval to get into certain classes. We'll give you information about that. And then there'll also be information regarding placement exams, which will take that exam will take place in August. It's not required. It's only if you're looking to pass out of 3 different 400 level classes. Don't worry about it at this point, but know that information will come in late May, early June. And then, yeah, sorry. And then once classes begin, there'll be kind of ongoing information about different things that you can participate in. That Viterbi Graduate Ambassadors Program is a great resource, to reach out to current students to learn more. If you have questions that really a student perspective is going to give you the best idea about things. And then just one thing we just can't reiterate enough is just know that once you're here as a student, that we really encourage you to get to know your faculty, go to their office hours, and work with the TAs in your classes. So really our faculty really want to meet with you. So I just can't reiterate that enough once you're here as a student. And so just know that in the summer, you'll be registering for your fall, and then come November time, we'll be sending information for you to register for your spring classes. And so we have an office where our student services advisors sit, and we have our weekly virtual drop-in advising hours on Zoom that you can always attend. Our department has lots of different seminars. We have a room dedicated where we have a lot of different seminar speakers come in. And so those announcements go out very regularly. We encourage our students to attend those. And as Maria showed earlier, our Viterbi Career Connections office has a ton of events throughout the year for you also to take a look at, participate in, to get to know potential employers. So at this point, we'll have some time for some Q&A, and then we'll switch over to Lisa and Roderick, who are 2 of our current master students. There is a Q&A box. We'd prefer that you maybe type some questions in there. At least maybe some questions for me to start with, and then we'll switch over to questions for our 2 current students, Lisa and Roderick. I think there's a couple questions already in the Q&A box, which I will leave for Paula Mejia is here. She's a member of our graduate admissions team. Some questions about scholarships, the deadline. Paul, if I could leave that to you to perhaps maybe if you want to type your answers to share. One question that came through was one of the specializations that are required courses offered only in the summer, according to this website. Does this mean that internationals will not be able to do summer interns? Generally, you're not allowed to do full-time employment while taking part-time coursework. I'm having a hard time thinking about an answer to that one right now. Does this mean interesting? So generally, international students who start in fall, you'll be cleared to be able to do internship the following summer, 2026. So depending on your major, if there is a required course that's only offered in summer, that's probably something we're gonna have to talk more specifically offline or with your required advisor. But generally, summer registration isn't required for students. There's fewer classes offered in summer, so some students will take advantage of it depending on their situation. If you don't get an internship, but generally we can figure something out. So. But generally, I don't think students are choosing between taking a course and getting their degree versus doing their internship. There's a student who has a question about offer for ECE and EE. I want to learn introduction of hardware acceleration. I don't know which to choose because of your courses look very similar. Again, probably getting into more specific things, we'd recommend that you come to our virtual Zoom drop-ins on Wednesdays to to discuss, depending on what your major is and maybe what might be a better choice for you if you've been admitted to 2 different programs. Know that for the MSEE General, you have a lot more flexibility in your course selection versus depending on if you were admitted to a specific degree program. So I think Kaiwen was typing an answer to the question about the job designations for students for the VLSI, I think, and also Maria had shared I think there was a link that had kind of the career outcomes. I think that will show information related to VLSI specific students. Student has a question about teaching and research assistantships for master students. So essentially, TA and RA positions are dedicated only for PhD students. So our master students, though, have been hired as graders for the department. So that is oftentimes, so not in your first semester will we hire new incoming master students. We want to get to know you, make sure you're doing well academically. But then we have a grader application on My Viterbi that students can fill out. And so that's another key thing is the best way to get hired to be a grader is to do well in your classes, but get to know your faculty, because at the end of the day, the faculty will be selecting students to hire as graders. So they really need to know you. So if you don't go to office hours, don't get to know your faculty, they're not going to be inclined to want to hire you. So know that our master students do get hired for grader positions, but teaching assistantships and research assistantships are for PhD students only.
I've been picking up on research. We have a question about how you find faculty for directed research.
Mhm.
So oftentimes students may take a faculty's class, like the area, and talk to the faculty further about whether they have research opportunities. You're also welcome to explore on your own. So we have seminars happening every day of the week in different areas. If you think an area looks interesting, you can go to a seminar, you can see the faculty who sponsored it, talk to the faculty about whether they have anything in their lab. You can also knock on people's doors, email them. So it's informal. You would go ahead and reach out to faculty in areas you're interested in. And you can find all the faculty research areas listed at our department website. And that's something that you can do at any time during your program.
And to kind of piggyback, there's a similar question about what's suggested how to reach out to professors, to email them before coming to USC if we're really interested in their work. Certainly, you can feel free to email professors. It's hard to say in summer, they're usually fairly busy with travel, maybe research, other things. So just know that just because a professor doesn't get back to you doesn't mean that they're not interested. It can vary on, different professors. So that's why when you're physically here in person, we encourage you to go to their office hours. So even if you don't have a class with a professor, we list the faculty office hours on our department website. So you're always welcome to drop in to see them, to meet them face to face. But the good thing is to initially really get to learn the professors, read up on their department websites before, trying to reach out to them. So that's what I would recommend. We'll do a couple more questions, but I want to make sure we have time for our 2 students who are here to answer questions. Let me just see if there's a couple others that we didn't get to yet. Student had a question about the April 15th deadline in terms of submitting the deposit. That would be a Viterbi grad admissions question. I'll defer to somebody on the Viterbi grad admissions team, or I'd encourage you to reach out in terms of when that deposit is due. We do have a student asked a question about the Master's Student Honors Program. How is that selection done? Essentially, we have a Master's Student Honors Program. It's for students who maintain a 3.85 GPA every semester. And so if after your first semester you've attained the correct GPA, then you can go on to My Viterbi and apply to be in the program, and you'll be automatically in the program. We check students' GPAs every semester to maintain status in the program. And so once you graduate, if you've maintained a high GPA, you'll get a designation of being in our MS Honors Program. And then we do have a limited number of scholarships for students in their final semester. If you've gotten a letter of recommendation submitted from a faculty that you've done research with, you may be able to earn a stipend equivalent to maybe a credit's worth of tuition. But we will send out information about that in the fall semester. At this point, I know there's lots of questions, but I think it'd be best, we want to make sure Roderick and Lisa, who have given us some time this morning to answer some questions. But I'll start with Roderick, if you'd just like to say hi, introduce yourself, maybe a quick words of advice, or maybe things that you think might be a typical question that you would have had at a similar point in this journey.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much, Sam. Good morning or good evening, everyone. Greetings from California. For those of you who are not here, my name is Roderick Shi. I'm a first year. I'm actually a second semester ECE student here at USC. Studying VLSI. I'm right now in the general EE major, but I'm shooting for the track of VLSI right now. And yeah, I'm happy to, answer any of the questions that you guys have. Actually, there's just one question that I see online that says, can we please get introduction with area of focus within ECE from our student ambassadors? Yeah. So I meet a lot of different students in our department, and there are, as Sam introduced, we have so many different specializations out there, and I really believe that all of those specializations have their advantages nowadays in our society. I can give you a general introduction of our VLSI track because I'm really into this specialization right now. The outcome of VLSI, you basically think about, okay, semiconductor technology, right? And in today's semiconductor technology, it's been rising, right? NVIDIA and AMD, they're all rising because of the current cutting edge technologies. And yes, as you guys want to hear, they do hire a lot of USC students because our VLSI courses are very strong, and we provide projects and courses that a lot of other universities don't really offer these days. For example, VLSI testing, VLSI advanced design, and you get those access to cutting edge technology like software, CAD softwares such as Cadence Virtuoso, things that you probably don't get to build on your own because of, these days chip technologies require very advanced CAD technologies, which USC provide those CAD tools to you guys for free to use, for free to learn. And we also use some of the most, I'd say pretty good digital library these days. We are for chip design. For example, we're for one of my VLSI design course, we're using the TSMC 45 nanometer technology nodes. For those of you who are interested in the actual technology that we're using for our VLSI design, these are very advanced for college level student or grad level students. So as long as you have those general ideas of how those projects work, once you go to the workforce, once you go to big companies, it's very easy to get used to their working environment. Yeah, I'll let Lisa to introduce herself to you guys. She's actually in our machine learning department, which is very new these days. Lisa?
Okay. Hi guys. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Sure. Okay. Thank you, Roderick, for introducing like the VLSI area to students. I'm from machine learning and data science, and I'll try to answer the question by like telling you what I experienced during my these 2 semesters. I'm also a second semester student here. I would say I think like machine learning data science might be one of the most popular area like in USC now in data science, in and computer engineering. So so for the courses I took for these 2 semesters, for the first semester, I took probability and linear algebra, and also a fundamental course about C++. So like for the course schedule, like the requirements of machine learning data science, they would require you to take a lot of fundamental courses in the beginning, and I took those for the first semester, which is like really heavy math courses. It like requires pretty much of like math background knowledge, and so for this semester, I'm taking 3 other courses, which is cloud computing and intro to deep learning and machine learning 1. And I think like a lot of other students in machine learning data science are also taking these courses for their first 2 semesters. And I believe that like in your second year of this track, you can try to be more personalized about your courses and try different varieties of other courses that you like. So, and I also know a lot of other students who are not from machine learning data science, but they also took the same major with me, like the same track with me. And several of my classmates from my courses, they are from the general EE track. So they told me like they're interested in both machine learning, AI, and also hardware. So in that case, they choose to go for the general EE track, which doesn't have much requirements about the courses you take. So you can let it be more personalized and try to search for different areas that you're interested in. Okay, thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, Lisa. I don't see any questions on the question chat yet, but there was someone asking about career outcome for the ECE students and possible like companies who are coming to career fairs during fall or spring semester at USC. I can probably find a link for you later, but for now I can tell you that one of the best advantage that I realized that once I come to USC is that there is a huge amount of career connection opportunities here at USC. For example, many big companies would love to come to USC to have this very personal and private talk with USC students. For example, Apple came to USC last semester in the fall and had this big seminar, and they were able to provide those very private hiring informations to USC student internally, having those hiring events for USC student because they know how good USC students are. And the positions that they are hiring varies from, front end to back end. If you're into chip design, they have chip design roles. If you're into ML, like Lisa, they also have those Apple ML teams that are hiring on campus last semester as well. So that's one of the examples that I think is really, really good for us students to be able to connect with all those professionals at Apple. And also, I think for last year's career fair, there was people from AMD, people from Marvell, from Skyworks, from one of the best German semiconductor company which was called actually I don't have that on top of my mind right now, but like as you can see that there are so many good companies that are willing to come to our campus, even though the company location are so far away, because they know our engineering program really means something to the professional fields. Let's see.
Roderick, Lisa, maybe do you want to maybe share and especially like how far along you are in your program? Have you lived in the same place off campus the whole time you've lived here? How did you find your apartment? That sort of thing.
Yeah, of course. So I'm at my second semester. I've taken 4 courses at USC so far. I have 1 year left for my program. For my apartment situation is a little bit unique because I commute actually from Orange County, which is a little bit far away from USC. I really enjoy the commuting though, because although it takes probably an hour to get to school, but I take time. I actually really value the time that I have in my car. I do a lot of interview prep in my car while I commute. But for those students who are willing to live on campus or around the campus, there are plenty of ways to do that. For example, one of the ways that students often do is to join student groups. For example, there are um, I'm not sure if you have heard this app called Slack, which is very popular here in the United States. Once you are enrolled in USC classes, you're actually automatically join those Slack groups in your classes. And there are a lot of housing informations, apartment information, renting informations there, as well as in Facebook groups. You probably have to join those yourself. I would say the best way to find housing around USC is through connecting with the current students. I'm sure you guys all know that for all the universities out there, a lot of students are going in and going out every single day in the summer, in the spring. So I really recommend you to use one of the software that I will show. I will share later in the chat. It's called Unibuddy. Unibuddy is what we use to for you guys to connect with us ambassadors online. As Maria was introducing it, there are plenty of ways to, for you to find the right ambassador at USC who are really willing to help you about any questions that you might have.
Thank you.
I see there's a
Great.
question about what portion of students pursue PhD after master's. Most of our students go on to jobs in industry. I would say maybe something like 1 in 10 are really interested in the PhD program. And if you're interested in transitioning to PhD, then you have a lot of opportunities to do that. I have had several students in my lab as PhD students who started in the master's. The student that's in my lab right now, he was here as a master's student. He did really well in his classes and he looked for a research opportunity early. So he actually started working with us during his time in the master's, got a paper published, and then actually got a fellowship for the PhD program and is continuing on. And a nice thing about that is that if you do go that route, it's not for everyone, but if you're interested in the PhD route and you did not initially get into a PhD program you're interested in, you can use the master's as a way of really significantly improving your application for that purpose. And if you do continue on at USC, for those students who do that, who are admitted to the PhD program, they've already finished most of the course requirements. And so they can kind of seamlessly keep going into the PhD and shorten the time for that degree. You can't directly convert to PhD. In other words, you have to be admitted to PhD, and it is a separate process from the MS. So you would apply, if you want to apply to PhD, you would reach out to potential faculty that you would want to work with during your first semester, maybe start making connections, start working with people, and then apply for the PhD program either in your second fall, if you feel like you're in a position to do so, or in the fall thereafter. You can convert from PhD to MS. We do have students who end up leaving the PhD program with an MS. So that is always an option for those who got into PhD, but the other way you have to specifically apply.
I just wanted to add, I think there were some questions about master's students getting involved in research. So for most of the programs, you can, if you find a professor who's willing to take you on for research, you may be able to earn up to 4 units of directed research to apply towards your master's degree. But then we also have plenty of students who will get involved in research in a professor's lab and not register for academic credit towards their degree. So it's not required that you do research, but it's something you're interested in. It's going to be really key, reaching out to professors in your first or second semester. And that's another reason why it's really important that you get to know the faculty, that you're taking classes with, but also maybe professors that you're not taking classes with yet, if you're looking to get involved in research. Anything else, Lisa, Roderick, you'd like to add? It's 10 o'clock. We had set this for 9 to 10. We understand people have maybe sleep to get to, other things, commitments. So I don't know if Roderick or Lisa, if you had any closing thoughts or and then I think we should sign off.
Yeah, so I just want to say that it's really glad to see all of you today, and I think I will just share my contact information in the chat, and if you guys have any questions further, please feel free to contact us.
Roderick.
Okay, yeah. Thank you guys for coming today. Yeah. I'll also share my info in the chat later. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Michelle, any other thoughts?
Thanks to everyone. We hope to see you in the fall, and congratulations on your admission. We're glad you're able to join us today, and we look forward to meeting you when you come and as you go along in your career here. Thanks.
I'll echo the thanks and thanks also to all the panelists today. Really appreciate you all coming to the webinar and everyone who signed on. We hope to see you this fall. And yeah, like everybody said, reach out to any of us anytime, and we're here to help you through every step of the way. So have a great rest of your day and fight on.